All right, welcome along to My Football Extra. It's a great one, the start of the Premier League. Obviously, this is one moment a lot of football fans, particularly the English Premier League fans, have actually been waiting for. And here we are, even though we had the first match yesterday, it was Liverpool versus Bournemouth. Um, it was an interesting game, if not for the ugly incident that actually happened that involved the Bournemouth player, Semenyo. I don't know what you make about that, and of course, the start of the Premier League.
Well, saying no to racism has always been a theme in football, and it's quite unfortunate that this era we are in this modern day, um, we still have these issues in Europe. To me, it's a sad one, and it's something that the football authorities need to take seriously and find a way to punish club sides that are not cautioning their fans on how to treat the opposition players.
But does it really feel like these guys are actually ready to fight racism in football? Because I mean, this thing keeps happening on, and it's sad that it's actually happening on the first day of the league season. So it's yeah, I mean, it's almost pointing the narrative that we should be expecting to see more of this if the right decision, the right punishments are not taken to fans like the one we saw yesterday.
I think the football association needs to mend severe punishment on clubs who are found wanting with respect to racism. And the earlier, the better they do that. If not, we'll keep seeing this. It's going to continue reoccurring. So until they stamp their authority and their foot down and punish offenders severely, it's not something that will go away anytime soon.
But again, I mean, you must give credit to Semenyo. He took that and responded in a very positive way, scoring two goals, even though they didn't get to win that game. I thought it was the best way to respond to those kind of attacks.
Yeah, the action speaks louder than words. So I think he did the talking on the field of play and came up with two wonderful goals. So it was a good way to respond to the racist chants that he faced yesterday.
Well, like I said, it was actually an ugly way to start the league. But I mean, the league has officially started, and the champions, Liverpool, have actually. I mean, there wasn't any better way to start than to come up with that kind of result. Even though, I mean, we got to see how flexible their defense line can be, and I mean, if they have to hold on to that position. I think just somehow they cannot work with that kind of defense. We saw the mistake Konate made yesterday for a club like Liverpool, and holding on to the league, defending that league title. You don't want to work with that kind of defense.
To me, Konate's mind is somewhere else. I don't think Konate is still a Liverpool player. I think the rumor about Real Madrid coming for him has gotten the best of him. Konate, in fact, Liverpool's defense is so shaky. It's so shaky. They can't defend the title with that defense. I think in the news from a couple of days
Let's make
ago.
excuses for them since it's the first match of the season. Is it fair?
No, they can do better. No, you need a well settled defense to challenge for the league title. With this defense, we thought we saw yesterday, Liverpool has not kept a clean sheet from preseason till yesterday, so it's not a good way to start. Yes, they got the 3 points at the end of the day, but they need some beefing up in that defense. I think what's going around is that they are trying to purchase McGuire from Crystal Palace. If they can make that happen, the sooner the better.
Well, of course, we'll probably see how that pans out. To the big one, and of course, the major reason why we're having this talk is going to be Manchester United versus Arsenal tomorrow at Old Trafford.
What a way to start the season. Once this fixture years gone by, usually determine who wins the Premiership, and now it's for Man U. It's not a good way to start the league. For Arsenal, It's
Really?
another way to show that yes, they are contenders and they are
Come
yes,
on,
yes, yes, they are contenders and they are here to win the league this season because
it's just the first match of the season. I mean, okay, so, but I think it should come with some kind of excitement, you know. A lot, I mean, a lot of people have said that the fixtures are not coming in favor of Arsenal. I mean, when you look at the list of matches they have after the Manchester United game, you would want to think that this is not coming in favor of Arsenal, you know.
well, on paper, Arsenal have the best team in the league at the moment. They have the most steady defense. Their midfield is well balanced, and the missing puzzle, the missing piece from their team, a striker, an outright number nine that they didn't have, and everybody has been crying for. And number nine, they now have a goal scoring machine in the person of Victor Gyökeres. So they say to be the best, you have to be the best. So Arsenal shouldn't complain about their the next few fixtures they have to start the league. Arsenal should be looking for they should be looking forward to beating anybody that they put in front of them. In fact, Ateta has been lying under the radar for too long. But I want to believe this season Ateta will be in spotlight because he has gotten everybody he says he wants.
You
Everybody Ateta says he wants, he has gotten.
know,
So there is no excuse for Ateta at the moment.
but
Arsenal,
again,
to me, on paper, as you say,
but again, this is Old Trafford we're talking about. It's not one stadium you just come and then do whatever you want to do and get away with it.
yes, I know it's Old Trafford, but you and I know that Man U has not had the best of times in recent seasons. They have not had the best of times,
That
and
was that was in the past.
now
That
this
was
is
last
this.
season.
Yes, it was in the past, but Ruben Amorim is now beginning. He was from this match. We'll now see what he's been trying to do because we all gave him a pass last year that okay, it wasn't his team. He just came in November and he met a already shattered and disrupted team and he tried to mend things together, but which didn't come out good. So now he now had a full preseason camp with them, and he has brought some players that are his own signings. So I don't think there's any pressure on Man U. The pressure should be on Arsenal going into this match
So
because
so so
Arsenal
so
has a point to prove.
all right. So
They
maybe we should
finished
talk.
runner up the last 3 seasons. So it's high time Arsenal challenge proper and win the league.
All right, all right. So maybe we should talk about the signings now. Two players that will actually be on focus tomorrow will be Benjamin Sesko of Manchester United, of course, and of course Victor Gyökeres of Arsenal. Well, a whole lot was actually said before they eventually joined these clubs. First, Benjamin Sesko was actually linked to Arsenal at some point in time, and of course, you had Victor Gyökeres as well. Eventually, Manchester United, out of the blues, he came in for Benjamin Sesko, and they eventually got him. Do you think that these two, if they eventually get to play tomorrow, because it doesn't look like it's not on paper yet that both guys will actually start for these two different teams. But I don't know. What do you make of the signing, first of all? And do you think they can actually prove what a lot of people have actually looked out for? Maybe start off with Benjamin
Okay,
Sesko.
okay, for Sesko, I don't think Sesko is going to start again tomorrow because Benjamin Sesko has not had a settled preseason. He was barely introduced last week to the Man United fans. So I want to believe that maybe I think he must have trained with them for the last couple of days. I don't think he's going to start. I'll be surprised personally if he starts, but I think he will have some role to play somewhere along the game in the match. Probably second half he will come in when things are not going well for Man U, presumably. Um, I was surprised that he actually opted to join Man U ahead of Newcastle because considering the fact that Newcastle are in the Champions League, You have this belief that every player wants to play in the Champions League, but he chose Man U. So that's a kudos to Man U. The brand Man U is still
There's
there.
also that factor, the factor that everybody wants to. I mean, Manchester United will always remain a very big club. So the factor
It's the
that
biggest club. It's the
you
biggest
want to
club in the
play.
world. Everybody knows that.
You said,
Manchester United is the biggest club in the world. They're the biggest club in the world. It's a brand. Yes, the club might not be doing well at the field of play, but the brand is still there. And I hope you saw that they rebranded Carrington and there's a new Carrington. So we're just hoping that Manchester will see a better Manchester United this season, a team that is ready to challenge and is ready to take their place in the podium as the biggest club in the world. So Sesko, he might not start the game. I'll be surprised if he starts. They might still go with a false line of Umbuemo and Cunha, or he might rely on Zeski or what's the name? The guy from Denmark, Højlund, to start the match. But if I would give a guess, I think it's going to be Cunha and Umbuemo that will be false lines. Then Fernandez will operate behind him. That is what I think he's going to go for tomorrow. Then in the second half, he might push Fernandez deep and bring those ones a little bit further behind and put Sesko to lead the attack. That is what I think he's going to. That's how I think he's going to approach the game tomorrow.
Okay, 97 goals in 102 appearances for Victor Gyökeres. Do you expect an instant hit for him, or I mean, it will take a little while before he gets into the team? Remember, he scored a goal recently in their friendlies against who now?
Athletic Bilbao.
Atletico Bilbao. He scored a goal. From what you have seen so far, I don't know how much you have seen him in the few games he has played for Arsenal. The body movements and the sharpness. From what you have seen so far, do you expect an instant hit, or it might still take a little while, considering the fact that 97 goals in 102 appearances is no small feat at all?
Make no mistake, Gyökeres has played in the Premier League before, but be it Brighton. But he didn't actually have an impact. He didn't have an impact. He was in Brighton. He didn't have an impact. He now ran to Portugal. 97 goals in 102 games sounds very, very intimidating. His first few games, he was nowhere to be found, but finally he hit the jackpot against Athletic Bilbao. He was supposed to come to Man U because our coach gave him his breakthrough in Sporting. But the challenge is, he said he wanted to play Champions League football, and he went for Arsenal. If we had beaten Tottenham in the Europa League finals last season and were in the Champions League, this conversation would have been the other way around. Probably Arsenal would have had Sesko and Man U would have had Gyökeres. Well, the truth of the matter is, Arsenal has a balanced team. Gyökeres, if it's going to be balls coming to him, he's going to get a lot of service from the likes of Saka, from the likes of Martinelli, from the midfield Odegaard, and he's also a good squad player. He is this kind of striker that will drop deep, receive the ball, bring others into play. So if you ask me, yes, Gyökeres is going to be active in the build-up play of whatever Arsenal is trying to do. An instant hit, I want to believe yes, but going into the first game, that arena, it might be difficult, it might be intimidating for him, but I know that Arsenal already has a structure in place, and he's just the missing piece that they've been looking for to fit into that structure. So he's in the right place at the right time.
Okay. So you made mention of Matheus Cunha and of course Mbeumo. I mean, those guys are actually not new to the Premier League. You know, we've seen what the stuff that they're actually made of. Do you think this? I mean, they are going to give Manchester United the kind of support in terms of goal scoring, because that's another area Manchester United suffered a bit last season. Do you think those were the right players for Manchester United to have gotten for this season?
Well, it's quite unfortunate that at this point in time, when we find ourselves, those are the kind of players Manchester United are relying on to get us out of
Really?
this pit we presently find ourselves. Yes, because in the time passed by, let's call it speed is speed. Umbremo is a good player, but he's an average
Yeah.
player. Cunha is a good player, he's an average player. It's just the position we find ourselves. The only plus is that they are a little bit of an upgrade compared to what we had last season because they are already established Premier League players. Be it that they were playing for Brentford and Wolves, as the
Yeah.
case may be. Last year, we brought players who didn't have any Premiership experience in the persons of Zeski and Hoydlund, and they found it very, very difficult to adapt and cope with the pace and the physicality of the English Premier League. So I want to believe that Konya and Mbuemo will slightly uplift the tempo of the team and create more chances for Manchester United compared to what we had. But another thing the coach is doing that I am not too comfortable with. Bruno is not a holding midfielder. Bruno is not a deep line playing playmaker. Bruno is more effective when you push Bruno forward. So to make those two operate effectively well, you need to push Bruno upfield. And that is where United is found wanting. Because the balance of the team is not there yet. That is why I see he's trying to go for Beleba. But Brighton has said Beleba is not for sale the next season. So I don't know who is going to come up with now. Who is going to be the substitute for Beleba that would give Manchester United that balance they need? Because playing Bruno in that position will push Umbremo and Cunha a little bit further back. And we'll see almost a replica of what we were seeing last season.
You don't really sound like you're convinced that Manchester United can actually jostle for the league title this season. You don't
So
sound
it's going for the league title.
yeah.
Oh, that's a bridge too far. Man, man, you can't contest. No. Man, you can't contest for the league title next season.
I
They
mean,
are
they will
far
not
off
be
it.
involved. They will not be involved in Europe as such this season. So they'll have lesser games to be involved with.
And that's a blessing in disguise. At least he has one match every 7 days to worry about, not
Yeah.
two matches in 3-4 days. Yes, they will not be in
I
Europe.
think
I agree
that
with
should
you.
give them a lot of time to. That should give them a lot of time to actually, come up with something very positive.
Well, I want to believe that he has seen all what he can see from the players that have been there before he came in. Man does not have a midfield. Manchester
Anyway,
United needs that presence in.
Anyway, the transfer market is still very much open up until September. There could be a chance that they will bring in a couple before the end of the transfer, or you don't see that happening.
No, it has to happen because we can't rely on the same midfield that Manchester United had last season. It has to happen. There has to be reinforcement into that midfield. For Casemiro, the legs are gone. Ugarte has not impressed. Kobe Mano is too, the pressure is too much on his young shoulders. He can't engineer that midfield. And like I said earlier on, Bruno Fernandes is not a deep midfield playmaker. He is more effective when you push him forward to an offensive role. So we need that presence, somebody who can coordinate play, who can a Rodley kind of player that can dictate the pace of the game, make it fast, make it slow. If he wants to progress with the ball forward, he progresses and he carries everybody along. Man U does not have that kind of midfielder, and that is the missing piece. So far, so
Well,
good. Transfer market, fine. He has gotten players that he can lay his hands on, but we still need that midfielder.
I think it's surprising that one position you did not talk about. It seems you are very settled with that. Is the goalkeeper position? It seems to be very very comfortable with what you
Can
have.
they give us Bande here? I'm not comfortable with the goalkeeper, truth be told. Onana, they said the reason why they brought Onana into the club was born to fit playing abilities. Right now, Manchester United does not need that because playing out from the back has been horrendous for Manchester United. In the whole Premiership, I think we are the most uncomfortable doing that. So it's not even an option. We are not comfortable doing that, especially now that we are going to be playing three at the back. We are not comfortable. So we need a goalkeeper, a shot stopper. Onana has cost us a lot of points in the last two seasons. So I don't think he's the man to be between the sticks. We need a goalkeeper. We were looking at Martinez from Aston Villa, but Aston Villa they don't want a loan, and they want if it's going to be a deal, they want it to be an outright sale. And I think Manchester United are trying to manage their funds. They rather go for a loan and channel all their resources into getting a midfielder. So that's what I think they are looking at. But for Onana, I don't think Onana is the man to take Manchester United forward.
But I think Martinez would have actually been a perfect fit, for Manchester United. I mean, he's a great player. He's done great stuff for Aston Villa. Never had the time had the time during his time as Arsenal. But I mean, his quality, good quality, won the World Cup, and you can't rule out the quality of this guy. So, well, like you said. This club sometimes will want to give you their own position. I mean, talking about Aston Villa now, not ready to let him go on loan. But then there was also, even though Manchester City have actually gone for him now, the guy at PSG,
Donnarumma.
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 Yes, that would have been a perfect. You don't think that would have been a perfect fit for Manchester United?
Yes, he fits into that conversation because Donnarumma is good with his with the ball to his feet, and he's also a huge guy, and he's a good shot stopper. I knew so many times he saved PSG in the Champions League last season, but unfortunately, our noisy neighbors are one step ahead, and they are looking at the possibility of getting Donnarumma if Ederson goes to Galatasaray, because I was meant to understand that Galatasaray made the first approach yesterday, but we've
Yeah.
not gotten a response from City. So if Ederson goes, then Donnarumma is going to Man City.
So that's a bit about Ruben Amorim now. Last season was obviously a disaster for Manchester United, right? I don't know. How far do you think they can actually let him um, stay? Because for me, I actually thought that he would have been fired by now. Looking at what's happened last season, I honestly don't know if there could be a miracle for him this time because it didn't look like, looking at the end of last season, it didn't look like anything different was going to happen. Anything different was going to happen this season.
I think what the leverage he had last season was Manchester United in the Europa League. They looked quite a different team in the Europa League compared to what we see week in, week out in the Premiership. But like this season, now, now this is his team. This team, his footprint is all over this team. If there are no improvements, if he's there by December, I'll be very surprised. I'll be
Really?
very, very surprised if there are no improvements. Yes, if there are no improvements, if he's there by December, I'll be very, very surprised because last season he came and he even performed worse off where he met the team. So there has to be immediate improvements. At least if they can beat the favorite on Sunday, it will put smiles in a lot of people's faces. Then we'll know that we mean business this season. But for now, last season he was okay. It wasn't his team. He came in the middle of the season. He actually pleaded to start the season with them, but the owners refused that no, he must come immediately. So he had no choice to end his contract with Sporting because they had already paid his release clause, and he came to Manchester United. So we gave him a pass that okay, it's not his team. Let him just come and freestyle. But now this is his team. He has done a complete pre-season training with them. Excuses are out the window. He has to start getting results immediately.
What about Mikel Arteta? I mean, it's been 5 years, so they're about now. The last time Arsenal actually had something to hold. I mean, the excuse has actually been like you rightly said previously, they've not had that point man, that Thierry Henry kind of attacker. Do you think he will not have any excuses this time? He just has to win the league this time. Or what do you think? I mean, it's been 2 years or 3 years in a row now, second position. Do you think this is the season for him to win the league?
If Ateta does not win the league this season, he should go.
Really?
If he doesn't win the league this season, he should go. There are no longer excuses for him. Arsenal, like I said earlier on, in the beginning of this podcast, Arsenal has the best team in the league on paper. They should translate it to wins on the field of play. Arsenal has no excuse.
Godfrey, is it just the league now? What if he wins the FA Cup or the Champions League?
He has won the FA Cup before. So are you trying to tell me that we are putting Ateta in the same category as Oliver Glasner of Crystal Palace? In 5 years, Ateta has won the FA Cup and Community Shield. Oliver Glasner in 1 year has won the FA Cup and Community Shield. Are you saying they are on the same level? Ateta has no margin for error anymore. Now he should be on the spotlight. Ateta has to win the league, not FA Cup. Champions League, yes, that might be a bridge too far. But the league, Ateta has to win the league this season. If he doesn't win the league, that means he has actually, truth be told, he brought life back into Arsenal. Before the coming of Ateta, Arsenal looked like they were going the same pattern as Man U, going down the hills. But Ateta brought Arsenal from the doldrums back to where they are supposed to be. So if he can't win the league this season, Arsenal has to make a choice to get somebody else, because that means he has taken them as far as he can. Anything above this, Ateta cannot. Then they need to get somebody who is a proven winner to come and move Arsenal to the next level.
Okay, so one club, one team that has not been brought in the picture for a while now is Manchester City. Does it look like Pep Guardiola has lost his mojo?
City are so used to winning. You can never rule out a Guardiola team. That's the truth. I laugh when I hear people count them out this season. It's still Manchester City we're talking about here. The only team to win the Premiership 4 seasons in a row. They will always be there. Manchester City will always be there. As far as De Bruyne that left for Napoli, the core of the team that achieved this huge success, they are still there. So you can never write off Manchester City. It's too early to start saying Guardiola has lost his mojo. It's too early.